सुनाती हूँ. I first came to Jaipur in 92. तो मैं बहुत छोटी सी थी, वेट भी बहुत छोटा सा था. और यहाँ पे I have traveled the world, by the way, just so you know. मैं लंदन में रहती हूँ और न्यूजीलैंड में रहती हूँ और इंडिया में भी रहती हूँ, 3 कंट्रीज में. मेरी बिगिनिंग्स जो है बहुत हम्बल है. I come from a family where education was the most important thing, but there was no food on the table for many days. So I decided very early on कि मैं इस जिंदगी को चेंज करने वाली हूँ. मैं 12 साल की थी, मैंने डिसाइड कर दिया था बस ऐसी जिंदगी चाहिए जहाँ पे खाना तो हो, और वो जिंदगी मैंने अपने लिए चूज करी. I studied a lot, and so my young friends here, education is super important. Believe in it. That education took me to distant lands. I became very successful professionally. मैंने इंडिया में, न्यूजीलैंड में, लंदन में काम किया हुआ है, एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसीज में. I'm a very successful entrepreneur thanks to the universe. However, मेरी थोड़ी पर्सनल लाइफ थोड़ी गड़बड़ हो गई. और जो अनटोल्ड लाइज है वो एक कहानी ऐसी है जो I hope that the younger generation today learns from or helps me understand. Who wants love in their life? Can I see? Who believes in love? मुझे आवाज चाहिए, मुझे कुछ कोई दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है. अगर मैं कहूँ कि 0 से 10 तक मुझे मेजर करके बताओ कि प्यार कितना जरूरी है. 10. यार मुझे तो 1000 चाहिए था प्यार. वेरी गुड. तो हम सब प्यार, we all love, right? But unfortunately, the society really doesn't understand love because the society judges love. मैं भी तुमको ये कहानी सुनाती हूँ. So 15 years ago, ठीक है, जब मैं बहुत छोटी सी थी, 15 years ago, I lived in New Zealand. I lived with my then husband. I have twins. My children are now older than most of you here. They're 21 years old. They were only 4 years old. And one night, I was sleeping. I was putting my children to bed. And my mother, and I don't know how many mothers do that, my beautiful, magical mother, stood over my head with a knife in her hand. She wanted to kill me. And there was a reason for that, and maybe it was justified. I have made peace with it. She had seen some letters that I had written to a very close friend of mine. Now please remember, I was a mother of 2 children. So we should try and not judge my mother. But she had read some letters I had written to a friend, and I had written certain things that were bothering me as a person, as a woman. And this is where I'm going to be very honest with you, and I had decided that my marriage was over. I was feeling empty in my marriage. My children were beginning to see that the relationship was not there anymore between their mom and dad. And I was feeling inclined towards the same sex. Now you can imagine if I've written something and my mother has found it, how traumatic it would be for her. So she felt it would be better for her daughter to not live anymore than to come out. And you know the word coming out, right? Come out. She threw the papers at my face. We had this huge tussle. My children woke up, and there was this huge drama. My then husband who was in the house, came out, and we had this quite a dramatic situation. That drama went on for days, as you can imagine, in long nights. After a long time, I had to then sit and decide, what is it that I wanted to do with my life? Did I want to live my truth, if that was the truth, or did I want to live a lie? And I chose, and I spoke to my husband then, and we had this conversation. Communication is important in relationships, people. And I spoke to him and I said, maybe I need to go out and explore. And my very generous, kind husband taught me what unconditional love means. And he said to me, I will support you. You go. You go find yourself, because what is most important in life is, as Guruji said, is happiness. What is also important in life is love. Love for yourself. So I went on with my life. Eventually the marriage broke. We had to because it just couldn't exist the way it was. It took me a long time to find somebody who I felt would be the right person for me, who accepted me for who I was. There was a lot of drama, and I remember being in situations. I had little children with me. We went to a supermarket. Remember, I lived in New Zealand, white Kiwis around. There were some Desis also. Unfortunately for me, the people who abused me physically, emotionally, were our own people. At a supermarket one day, I remember just standing there trying to buy groceries, simple things with my children, and this Gujarati woman came. She pushed me. I fell, my children were with me, 4 years old, pushed me, I fell down. She came up to me, she spat on my face. Then when I tried to get up, she pushed me again. She wouldn't let me get up. And she said, home breaker. And I thought to myself, whose home did I break? Did I break your home? I haven't broken my home. That went on and on. Everywhere I would go, my cars would be, glasses would be smashed. I would have very difficult situations. Overnight, I lost friends, if there are so-called friends. Overnight, my children had no sleepovers. It was hell. Some of the things I don't even remember anymore because, when a train passes over your leg, you go down with pain. That's exactly what happened to me, and I don't want to deal with that. So society judged me. That's fine. And good things also happened. I called up a friend one day, my best friend who lived overseas, and I said to her, the Amitabh Bachchan film where you kind of practice a lot before you can talk to your friend about it. So I told her, hey, you know what, I have to tell you I have left my marriage and now I think, and guys, I'm going to use this word which I find it difficult to use, and I said, I think I am gay. And the first thing she said to me, there was silence, and the first thing she said to me, she said, have you ever thought that way about me? That was the first thing she said to me. I said, are you mad? You're my friend. How can I even think like that about you? And guess what happened? She was so offended. She said, do you know how many men find me attractive and you're telling me you don't find me attractive? She didn't speak to me for 2 full years. And seriously, this is serious stuff. And then men would come up to me and say, Arey, tujhe to wo na mila nahi hai ab tak. And I would say, kya mila nahi hai? So you know what I'm saying. Men would imagine that I haven't had the right person in my life. That is why my sexual orientation was what it was. So this went on and on. Then one day, my young son, I have twins, I have a son and a daughter, very blessed. My young son comes up to me and says, I want to ask you a question. I said, sure. He said, what if I tell you, he was about 19 then. He said, what if I tell you that I am gay? My young friends out here, I don't know how many of you will understand this. I was shocked. I had no idea what to say to my young child. And I thought to myself, what does a mother say to a child? And I told him, are you a freaking fool to even consider this? And at that time we were in India, we were just spending about a year in India. And I said, are you a freaking fool to even consider this? Do you know what your mother has been through? Do you know what your mother goes through? Why would you want to be this person and come out in a society which judges you, which spits on you, which abuses you, which doesn't let you just be, which talks about being gay as a sexual orientation? It's got nothing to do with sex. It's got to do with just being emotionally attracted to somebody of your own sex. And fortunately or not fortunately, I don't know, whatever it is, the universe has been kind to him, that he is a straight kid, and I'm okay if he wasn't. I would bless him anyway. So there have been many instances, and that's why I wrote this book, and I said it's time for me to reveal that life should be easy. Jaipur, I must say one thing that I repeatedly ask #TCM organizers, is Jaipur prepared for a story like this? Guess what they said? Yes. I want to hear that. Yes. Because, There is fear in me even now. As I stand here, I'm just kind of thinking, who is going to throw that first chappal at me? Who's going to come up to stage and spit on my face? Thank you. And this is what... You know, the reason I have shared my story on Humans of Bombay, let me tell you that, and I won't take too much time. So, you know, now you must have, if people are good in maths here, I would have guessed my age. I have forgotten my age because 4 weeks ago, when I launched my book, Dr. Shashi Tharoor launched my book in Pune. And that was the day I think I was born, really born. Because that was the day I sought courage, and courage sought me. And I said, let me be this person. Doesn't matter. Let people judge me. Let people abuse me. It's okay. But the next generation, the generation that my children come from, are at, let them live this life. Let them live this life of truth and lies, and they choose this life. You know, I have a beautiful partner. I have been with my partner for now over 13 years. We do everything together. My children were 8 when she came into our life. They have been brought up really well. To date, I must tell you, if a friend calls me and says, I'm going to use this word straight, I don't like to use it, heterosexual person calls me and says, hey, you know, I have a problem with my child has drug issues, is just dysfunctional, and I give them support. But just can you imagine my situation? If I ever told somebody that, you know what, I'm having difficulties with my child. My son is giving me a huge amount of issues. Do you know what I get in this return? Oh, because you don't have a father. Oh, because you made those choices. So society will judge us no matter what. And I have decided that I am the society. I judge myself. And I'm going to change that part of me. And I hope that each one of us here changes that about ourselves. But I see that you don't need to change. You guys are awesome. Jaipur, I love you. Let me take you back to 1992 as I end my story. In 1992 was the first time I fell in love. And I fell in love with somebody in Rajasthan. This was in the beautiful city of Bikaner. I always say, whenever people ask me internationally, and I work in a celebrity management business, so I travel quite a bit, they ask me, which is the favorite country in the world? So I say India, of course. Which is the favorite place you've ever been to? I say Rajasthan. India. And Rajasthan is the most wonderful place in the world. I can tell you why. For 2 reasons. 1, my heart and my soul remain here. So sorry guys, you have it. You have a piece of me. And 2, because I think it's one of the most progressive places I've ever been to. And today is an example of that. So you must give yourself the biggest possible hug and clap. Not to me, because I think you are the most awesome people I have met, and I've traveled 25 countries in the last few months delivering this talk, and this is the best response I've had. I'm going to take the Rahul style, and if there's even one person wants to ask me one question, please ask. I promise to keep it very short, but one question. Because I know people are curious about this kind of life. I'm happy to respond. Please don't feel shy. I went to a friend's place in the US, first time, 15 years ago, and uncle sitting at the table heard me, and he said, one question, dear. I said, sure. He said, how do you do it? And I said, do what? He said, how do you do it? And I have no response. I don't have any answer because the question remained incomplete. So I have not ever responded to that question. But guys, please, when you think about people like me, it's just about love. It's only about love, and it's only about love.